I'm heading to Disneyland. 24 hours of travel. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. I've been paid a 10-hour trip on the FlixBus across the channel. I don't trust FlixBus because I've heard so many bad things. That stank. That was horrible. I'm told now this coach is definitely not going to Disneyland. I get this is a complicated business. There will be mistakes, but been a lot of mistakes. FlixBus are a shower of shit. They are fucking atrocious. It's not a good day for me today. I won't be doing this again, let's put it that way. I'm at a train station in the Midlands with a brand new haircut, and that's because I'm heading to Disneyland. Yes, Disneyland Paris, as it happens. The first leg of this is going to be pretty easy. It's going down to London. It's the bit afterwards, going from London to Disneyland, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Now, I am going to be keeping a tally of how much this is going to cost. This is 24 hours of travel before I get to my hotel near Disneyland. I'm not taking a lot. This is my luggage, that's it. I also have included a hell of a lot of moisturising deodorant and breath mints, because after 24 hours, I expect to stink. I'm not used to travelling 24 hours without changing my clothes or having a shower, and I really don't want to offend my fellow passengers. So, got to keep fresh, got to keep hydrated, lots of wipes, lots of deodorant, breath mints. Let's go to London first, and I'll tell you how much everything costs along the way. So I'm at New Street, but I'm not actually taking the train from New Street to London because that costs a lot of money. £25 minimum. Instead, I'm going to take the Megabus, which is just £5. Let's go.
Megabus like to give their coaches amusing names. It's usually a terrible pun, and this was no exception. Now, I actually paid extra for a reserved seat, only to find some man in a turban sitting in it. I made him move across so I could have the window I actually paid for. However, he had a really funky stink about him. So I decided to move to a different seat a little further away because there was no way I wanted to live with that stench for 4 hours.
Alright, so I've arrived in London a little later than expected. It took 4 hours on the Megabus, and I've been paid from sitting down that long, which worries me about what's to come. And what's to come is a 10-hour trip on the FlixBus across the channel to Disneyland Paris. At least that's the hope. On the board, it says that it will leave at 9 o'clock. That's what it says. But they've sent me an email saying it's going to be 11 o'clock. So instead of having a 3-hour wait at Victoria train station, this is now going to be a 5-hour wait. Now, I have got a strategy, sort of how to cope with such a long journey. One of the things I'm doing is I haven't eaten since yesterday, and the plan was I wasn't going to eat until I got to my hotel in Paris. And the thinking was that, I won't need to go to the loo, because I don't want to go to the loo on a coach. I avoided it on the Megabus, but now, for some reason, I do need to go. So I'm going to have to go here. I'd rather go here than on the FlixBus. So if that's the case, then I might as well just get some food. And I'm going to go get a sandwich and a drink. And probably a bottle of water for the journey, just to stay hydrated, because these coaches with their aircon, quite difficult to to stay hydrated. Right, yeah, I don't trust FlixBus. I just don't, because I've heard so many bad things. So let's see if they will get me where they're supposed to get me. Right, this is what I picked up from the supermarket. So, sandwich, cola, water. I'm hoping that's all I'll need until I get to Disneyland. Let's see. I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather pay, go to clean ones, than free and disgusting. That stank. That was horrible.
Yeah, so this is what the toilets look like at Victoria Coast Station. Yeah, pee on the seat, lots of pee on the floor. I'm going to have to clean this before I use it.
I've come outside and I'm going to be here for a while because I'm hoping that the fresh air will blow away some of that horrible stink that I'm sure stuck to me while I was in that little hellhole bathroom. I'm not enjoying this. Should have taken the flight. Should have taken the flight. Right, the 9 o'clock FlixBus to Paris, Disneyland Paris, is boarding right now. Except it's not the 9 o'clock Disneyland Paris. Because I checked with the driver and he said no. Even though my ticket says 9 o'clock. The app says 9 o'clock. The boards in the coach station say 9 o'clock. But, no, that's not my coach. This is absolutely horrendous. FlixBus are a shower of shit. They are fucking atrocious. Now, staff told me this bus goes to Charles de Gaulle Airport and then Disneyland Paris. I asked the driver just to check and he said no, I only go to Charles de Gaulle Airport. Now, there are people with kids getting on that coach. And they're going to be pretty disappointed when they arrive at Charles de Gaulle Airport and get turfed out of the coach. Because they're going to have to make their own way to Disneyland Paris with several kids in tow. And there's not just one, there's quite a few. So disappointed with FlixBus. I should have taken the flight. FlixBus are atrocious. But hey, maybe I will make it to Paris. Maybe I will actually make it there. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Guess what? I've just got a notification, a push notification on my FlixBus app. And it's saying, track your coach, it leaves at 11 p.m. So yeah, my coach is 11 p.m. Although in the app, when you go into it, it still says 9. Look, I get this is a complicated business, running so many services, going to so many locations. There will be mistakes, but been a lot of mistakes from FlixBus, a hell of a lot. I won't be doing this again, let's put it that way, but I'm here now. Let's try and get to Paris. Let's try and get to Disneyland. Because I'm told now this coach is definitely not, the 11 o'clock coach is definitely not going to Disneyland. So, board at 11 p.m. It will drop me off, not even in central Paris, it will drop me off about 15 kilometers, 10 miles from the center. And I will then have to make my own way to my hotel, which is close by Disneyland Paris. So I've got 2 hours to kill. I could read, I suppose, listen to podcasts. Can't sleep. And honestly, all of this has stressed me so much that I can feel the tension all over my body. My muscles are tensing up. It's not a good day for me today. It's really not. Right, 11 hours after I left home, it looks like we'll finally be getting on the coach to France. It's here.
To Paris, please come forward, 11 o'clock. Please come forward.
passport control was pretty painless, unlike normally.
I love this.
So we've arrived at the port of Dover. It is 1:25 a.m. Passport control, pretty much painless, unlike airports, where I always get the third degree and usually an intimate search. Okay, it's never been that bad. Well, once. Yeah, they usually give me a lot of extra attention, but not when I'm arriving by coach for some reason. We have to now wait here, the coach has to now wait here, for another hour before it's allowed onto the ferry to Calais, which is leaving at 3:10. The P&O is ours, I think. This is now an opportunity to go and use the facilities, which are just over there. I wasn't expecting this. They've got a little kind of service station area. Get your currency and a Burger King. So nothing's open. No Burger King. No Costa. Oh, W.S. Smith's open. And you can gamble away to your heart's content on the fruit machines. Foreign exchange not available. As usual, public toilets. Disgusting. Pee on the seat, pee on the floor. Rather clean it up before I use it.
May I have your attention, please? In the interests of safety, will all passengers... Votre attention, s'il vous plaît. Par mesure de sécurité personnelle. Darf ich Sie um Ihre Aufmerksamkeit bitten? Aus Sicherheitsgründen.
What's interesting is that all the prices are in pounds. I mean, okay, that's not surprising because we are on the British side of the channel still. And as you'd expect, they're all motorway service station prices, so extortionate prices. You know, £3 for a bottle of Coke. I'm going to head back to the coach because, as I told you earlier, I'm not eating while I'm on this journey because I don't want to end up having to use the loo. And the loos in there were kind of disgusting, but still better than the ones that you had at bloody Victoria Coach Station, which was awful, horrible, stank. These ones, not so bad, but you know what people are like. That's why they were a bit grim. Yeah, as usual, cleaned it up myself. Let's get back to the coach. One little tip for you if you're doing this journey yourself. When you're on the coach, just switch off your phone. It saves a lot of battery, which means that when you arrive at your destination, you've still got a phone that's mainly fully charged. Alright, so these must be all the trucks and cars coming off the ferry that has just arrived, and once they're off, we can get on.
So this is my first time on a ferry. It's a brand new experience for me, so the next 10 minutes are going to be me exploring the ship. If you just want to see what happens when we arrive in France, you can jump ahead 10 minutes. Otherwise, stick around and I'll show you what it's like on board.
It's quite a complicated operation getting all these cars and trucks and coaches onto the ferry.
but it's a well-oiled machine. They're coming in just fine. Off this deck and check out the rest of the ship.
Attention.
The lift.
We're moving vehicles. Attention.
I think we're heading upstairs, upper decks.
Attention aux véhicules qui passent.
Oh, here we go. Let's go to the top. Let's go check it out. Okay, passenger deck. Do you know what? It's obviously a lounge and food, but let's go check out the outside of the ship. Oh, quiet lounge. Should whisper when I'm here. Yeah. Right, so that's the quiet lounge. Lots of comfy seats, some with massage function if you're willing to pay for it, but also quite a lot of USB sockets if you're really interested in charging your phone. But that's not what I'm interested in right now. What I'm interested in is this. The outside deck. Oh, let me out. I didn't realise it, but we're already on the water. Obviously we are, it's a ship. Where else would it be? But there we go. It's Dover Docks. Right, so we're attached to the dock at the moment. Oh, lifeboat's good. Good to know. Let's go have a wander around the outside of the ship. This is the highest deck I believe passengers can get to. There is a crew deck up here. Presumably that's where they control the ship from. They driving the ship? Is that the right terminology? Do you drive the ship? Is that how it works? No, tell me in the comments. But yeah, no, they're definitely up there, and you can see there are all kinds of controls lit up, and there are people moving about. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can certainly see it. Right, so bit of a dead end here, but you can go round. Right, let's go around and check it out. Here's a lifesaver. Lots and lots of toilets, and I bet they're in better condition than the ones on land. Don't need them at the moment, but let's go see what else we can explore. Okay, so yeah, definitely deck 9, the highest deck that passengers can get to, but crew can go a little further up. What's this? The club lounge. Admission by ticket only, and I don't have a ticket. Huh. I would really love to go out and see the rest of that deck, but this side is closed. Is this a restaurant? Yeah. Fast food restaurant. Order on the machine. You can collect your order. Nice. Right, place your order on the machine. It's the middle of the night. I'm not sure what you can actually order. Oh, breakfast is possible, I guess, because it's before 11 AM. What are the breakfast options? Alright. Alright. Obviously, I'm not going to have any food. Don't want to use the loo until I'm at my hotel. Oh, outside deck. Nope, it's closed. Why? Pet lounge. Bring your pets. Right, I'm going to give up. Let's head downstairs to deck 8 and see if there's more to see there. Oh, maybe we can see more of the outside deck here. We're heading outside, come on. Good to see they've got plenty of lifeboats for us. I mean, we haven't left shore yet, really. Oh, Viking life-saving equipment. Good to know. Oh, if the weather was nicer, this would be quite a cool place to hang out. During daylight hours, anyway. You probably can't even see me at the moment. That's how dark it is. But yeah, look, very busy. The lounge bar. Now, oh, okay. Before we do that, think. Is this the front of the ship? I guess. Is this the way we're heading? Looks like it. That's the direction we'll come out when we finally land in France. The problem is, it's so dark. There's no point standing out here watching the ship leave because there's nothing to see. There's absolutely nothing to... I mean, I can put the camera slightly above here. What can you see? Nothing, right? So, yeah. Maybe I should go into that quiet lounge and rest. Just have a little snooze. Right. We are sailing away from Dover. Not sure if you can see it. So that over there is another ferry. Probably very similar to the one I'm on. Unfortunately, on the way back, it's also in the dark. So I'm not really going to get to see or experience it properly. Right, so I managed to get about an hour's sleep. And then I woke up to all kinds of banging noises. Come outside, and it looks like we've arrived at some kind of dock. We have. We're docking. Not that kind. Okay, so it will be sunrise soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived in the port of Calais. On behalf of the captain, the officers and the crew, we would like to thank you for travelling with P&O Ferries and wish you a safe onward journey.
Right, let's head downstairs. Back on the parking deck. I wonder, can I go to the front of the ship? Right, that's the front. It's good to be back on board. We're in France. And after that sleep, I really want to brush my teeth. All my toothpaste, toothbrush stuff is in the luggage. Locked up. So the best I could do is breath mints and water. It's about 8:30 a.m. French time, 7:30 UK time. We've stopped at a French service station. I don't know why. I think we're still about 100 or so kilometers from Paris. I haven't checked. My phone is still off. We'll get to why later and why it's been a good idea that I've not been using my phone at all. But let's go check out the French service station. We've only got 15 minutes here, so we've got to be quick. So this is off the A16, which is that main motorway that we've been going along. And here we go. Oh, a nice little seating area outside to have some food if you want. Well, charge your Tesla. Now I do have about 50 euros with me, but like I've said throughout this journey, I'm not going to be buying any food, and I don't really feel like souvenirs. So I don't know what I'll buy. Nothing probably. Check it out. Haribo. Souvenirs, if you're in the mood for them. Oh, Eiffel Towers of every size and colour. Well, mainly just there's two options. The red, white and blue, and the metallic. Oh, this is the Olympic mascot. What is it supposed to be? A red triangle. Oh, and it's not. Yeah. Oscar Pistorius. Poisson. My GCSE French coming in a little bit useful. Because I recognise a lot of the words. Can't make sentences out of them, but I recognise the words. One thing they don't seem to do... Oh, they do. I spoke too soon. They do sandwiches. Of course they do. But I wonder if they do meal deals, which is a big thing back in the UK. You know, the £3 meal deal, the £4 meal deal, £5 meal deal. Oh. Monster Munch in a tube. I like it. Might pick some of that up on the way back. Santorini. Robert's Cafe. Not open. Wow. Look at the queue for the ladies. No queue for the gents. Let's head outside. I think we've seen enough. Service stations are the same all over the world, although that is one hell of a queue. Oh, let's see. And they've got a little kids' play area as well, which is locked. Nope. You can go inside if you want to. No reason for me to do that. Just go for a little wander. Oh, they've got outdoor exercise stuff. Lots of little tables here to have a picnic. Now I know I'm in no rush because just for the driver getting something to eat. And you can't really miss which coach is ours, can you? Kind of obvious. They're on point with their branding. The fresh air's doing me good. On the coach I was about to fall asleep. But you never get good sleep sitting upright. Anyway, let's get back on the bus. Toilet out of order.
Right, it's 10:15 local time, which is 5 hours later than I should have arrived at Disneyland Paris. And you may notice I'm not at Disneyland Paris, no. They've dropped me off at Saint-Denis, or Saint-Denis, as you should say correctly. You'll also notice, while this isn't Disneyland Paris, this also isn't anywhere near the centre of Paris. This is about 10 miles, 15 kilometres from the centre of Paris. And why have they done this? Well, they say operational reasons. They couldn't take me to my final destination. Will they be giving me a partial refund? No, they won't. F you, FlixBus. Apparently, they've got me to my destination. This isn't my destination. My destination was Disneyland Paris. It's far to the east of Paris itself. This is to the north of Paris. So I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed. The FlixBus is just behind me there. Now, I was prepared. I kept talking about, making sure you had your phone charged. Well, my phone is about 90% charged. And the reason I need it charged is firstly, for situations like this, if you get lost, you need Google Maps to get you around, to get you to where you need to be. And I've checked Google Maps and it's shown me exactly which public transport I need to take. The number 13 metro will take me to the A train, which will get me to Disneyland Paris. Secondly, there is an app you can download, which I've downloaded before I came, that lets you buy a pass to use all the public transport. So I bought a 3-day pass, and your phone kind of acts like your ticket. It's contactless. And of course, Google Maps will show you exactly where to walk to get to the various stops and stations that you need. And in fact, the first one I need is right behind me, Saint-Denis. And Saint-Denis Station, metro number 13 will take me to Saint-Lazare, I think, which is where I need to get onto the A train heading east. So let's go. Okay, there's 2 exits. I need to work out which is the right one for me. Maybe the wrong exit. Nope. That one, that's more like it. No, there's another one. I think that's the one I need to go to. Yeah, I guess this is what tourists feel like when they're wandering around London trying to understand the signage. Pretty sure this is it. I'm not a fit man. You know what? Let's just go and work it out from the surface. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's a pretty station though. Old. Yeah, that's very old, or it's trying to look very old. Anyway, need to get Google Maps out. Let's find our way to the next place. Aire station, which will then take me directly to Disneyland Paris. How do I get there? Google will tell me. It's telling me I'm 4 minutes walk away, so let's go. Boulevard Haussmann. I'm definitely on the right track.
because in front of me says Aire, but this is it. Aire, R-E-R. Oh, escalators down. Okay, I'm in the right place. And this is the final leg, because from here I go straight to my hotel. Apparently the hotel is right outside the station as well, so that should be good. And as before, my phone acts as my public transport ticket. There we go. Aire, R-E-R, A to the right. Yep, this is it. Oh, that's a steep one. This goes down quite far. There we go. R-E-R-A, that's the one we want. Very well signposted. And have you noticed there are people at every station, metro station, train station, in uniforms who are there to help people, tourists, get around. I think we did that for London 2012 as well. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Here we are. The A train goes in two directions. I'm going to Marne-la-Vallée. So, as you can see, this direction goes to Marne-la-Vallée. That goes in the opposite direction towards the west. Look, people to help. Now, I don't know if it's always like this here, but I've got to say, very well organised, excellent. So, I am going east towards Disneyland. Oh, 2 minutes before the next train. And look, we go from Aire all the way down to Marne-la-Vallée, but actually Val d'Europe for me, because my hotel is one stop just before Disneyland. You'll see, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. There were much worse I could choose from. Alright, here we are. Next train is coming. À l'approche. Oh, this looks packed. This looks busy. Well, lots of people are coming off as well. Hold on tight. I love what they do with these little lights showing exactly where you are and where you're going. London could do with that. Right, so I think I've made a good choice. And this is the stop for Disneyland, and this is where my hotel is. And I mean literally here, just outside the station. I think that's where it is. Hopefully my information was correct. Let's find out. Next stop, Val d'Europe.
Val d'Europe.
Oh, you need your pass to get out. Okay, that's weird. Wasn't expecting that, but let's do it. Wow, these gates aren't for fatties. Right, so coming out of the station. And what I'm looking for is the IBIS. Should be very, very close. Okay, gonna have to ask Google Maps for this. Quite a nice square. All of Paris seems to be nice so far, but then I've not been to the grim parts. Ooh. It's possible I went a longer way than I needed to. It's supposed to be very, very close.
Continue on to Rue de la Fontaine Rouge.
Oh, it's possible I came out the wrong exit. Yeah, so it turns out I did come out of the wrong exit. There is a separate exit that's literally next to the hotel. And it's there. I went the long way around, didn't have to. And I'm jaywalking now. I'm not sure if jaywalking is a thing here. It's not really in the UK. But this, yeah, see, looking in the wrong direction, almost got me run over. No more jaywalking, Jay. This is the Val d'Europe exit that I should have come out of, but didn't. Because from this exit, there's the IBIS. There's two. There's a good IBIS and a crap IBIS. And they're both next to each other. I think this is the good one. Yes. Right, all checked in. Let's head to the room. Oh, there's a word I recognise. Escalier, which means steps or stairs. And ascenseur is, of course, the lift. This is it, 133, it's right in the corner. Well, it certainly looks clean. Right, let's get some lights on. Ta-da! It's an IBIS. It's like every IBIS in the world, pretty much. I've stayed in thousands of them. Now, it is just after 10 past 12 local time. I left 23 hours ago from my house. It's taken 23 hours to get here. Those last 2 hours, I really struggled to stay awake. It was really, really, really difficult. But I felt like I had to, simply because if I fell asleep, I'd probably end up on train to somewhere I didn't want to be. But what I'm going to do now is shower. I need to shower because I must absolutely stink. I'm wearing the same socks and underwear. And in fact, all my clothes are the same clothes I was wearing more than 24 hours ago. And I feel kind of grimy. Yes. So let me shower, and then maybe I'll have a little bit of a rest. And after that, heading to town. Shall we head into town? Or have a nap? If I have a nap, I won't wake up again. That's the problem. Shower. Right, that's the shower done. Feeling so much better. Getting all that grime, that 24 hours plus of grime off me. I was in there for a while. I scrubbed everything twice. But anyway, let's have a quick room tour. I mean, all IBIS hotel rooms look exactly the same as every other IBIS hotel room, like I said. But let's start with the bathroom. Yeah, as you can see, they're nice and clean. Any mess that's here is mess that I've made. This was all very, very clean. Shower looked good. Toilet was clean. They provide 3 towels. 3 towels, a luxury, I would say. Hair and body gel, and some hand gel as well. A couple of cups, I don't know why. No idea why. And a hairdryer in the bathroom as well. That's pretty good. Yeah, decent bathroom. There is a control here for aircon, which I will be using very soon. It's nice and cool in here, actually, considering how hot it is outside. They've not been skimping on this. I asked for a double bed, simply because it gives you more room. They did offer 2 singles if I wanted, but no, I didn't want it. A little bit of artwork just above the headboard. Full-length mirror. TV's alright, not huge, not great. A menu for if you want to order something down at the bar. I'm not sure they do room service in IBIS, they really don't. And plenty of space to store your stuff. Those are the clothes that I wore for 26 hours or whatever that I've thrown in the corner for now. Lots and lots of hangers, spare pillows, a little desk to write on, and actually a really good view. They've put me in the corner, so I've got a view of the whole square, which is quite nice. And there, just there, you can see RER. That's the station. That's one of the exits to the RER station for Marne-le-Vallée. My mistake was not coming out of that exit, and that's why I went the long way round and almost got run over by a car. Now, I think I will have a little bit of a rest. Will I go out into Paris this evening? I would like to, but I also need to go find a supermarket somewhere nearby so that I can get myself some drinks and some snacks. I'm not going to overdo it. My feet hurt, my whole body hurts already, and I don't want to overdo it because I want to enjoy tomorrow. And perhaps if I go into central Paris tonight, a lot of walking, a lot of rush, a lot of people, a lot of crush. and I may end up just getting more tired and not being able to enjoy tomorrow at Disneyland and the next day at Disneyland. So yeah, a little bit of a rest, then find a local supermarket and get some shopping done. See you after my nap. Right, it's now 9 p.m, but yes, I slept a good 7.5 hours. I know that seems crazy because, hey, didn't you just waste your day? But no, because that was really important. All those aches and pains in my body have now gone. So I will be ready for tomorrow. What I do need to do now is go and find a local supermarket and pick up a few things. Right, heading out of the hotel and it's already getting dark. It is, 5-10 minutes from sunset. So maybe I should have gone earlier. The supermarket, according to Google, is open till 10 p.m. So I do have time and it's not far away. So let's talk about what I need from the supermarket. Well, I need something to drink, maybe a snack, some snacks to take with me to Disneyland tomorrow. I don't know if they allow that, but I hope so. What I also need is some hand sanitizer, some antibacterial wipes because I've run out because I used so many in the journey. Maybe some moisturizer. I do have a little bit, but it's running low. And my deodorant is running low as well. But other than that, I just want to explore and see what they've got. So let's go. On the Google Maps, it's very, very close. There is the option of going to an Aldi nearby. I might try that soon. But first, I want to go to Carrefour. Maybe I shouldn't be walking around with my camera because I'm told that there's a lot of crime here. Thanks to all the diversity. If you read the news and the comments online, that's what you hear. Too much diversity equals lots of crime. Well, let's find out. Maybe it's foolish of me. I mean, even when I was on the coach, there was an American lady telling me about, she's come here many times and she has to be very, very careful because she's been robbed and her friends have been robbed. So let's find out if that's true. One thing I will say, it is kind of dangerous for your first day or so when you're crossing roads because you're so used to looking in the opposite direction because we drive on opposite sides of the road, UK and France. And it's quite common.
Turn right towards Avenue Hergé.
Well, thank you, Google Maps. It's quite common for people, tourists, coming to the UK from Europe or vice versa, getting into accidents, and some serious ones. But anyway, look. This really is very, very close, this Carrefour supermarket. Apparently it's a Carrefour Mini, which is just fine, I'm sure. But I will be heading to Aldi tomorrow if I can. I would say this Val d'Europe area doesn't really seem like a crime-ridden hellhole. I feel generally quite safe being here. Big tree-lined boulevard. Again, I'm looking the wrong way. But anyway, big, tree-lined boulevards, nice and green, well-manicured. It's all good. Will the cars stop for me? No, they won't. Oh, yes, one of them will. Pedestrian crossings in the UK, pedestrians have right-of-way. In fact, generally pedestrians have right-of-way. We don't really have jaywalking as a concept. I was just curious whether it's similar in France. I have been here, but the times I've been here, it's usually short trips and you spend a lot of time on public transport getting around inside Paris, where people drive like crazy anyway, so you're never quite sure whether they just, like that always, or they're just not following the rules. According to Google Maps, it's just around the corner from here. And this does look like a very posh area. This is a hotel called the Palazzo Residence. But it should be here. And it is Carrefour City. Good. Let's grab a basket and shop. Oh, so this is like a Tesco Express. Oh, they do have fresh strawberries. €4. Grapes, €2. I gotta say, this all looks a bit expensive, but maybe that's just this supermarket. And these bananas are $2.35 a kilo. It's about the same when you do the conversion, I think. Yeah, the price is about the same when you do the currency conversion. Not really comfortable buying any of these ready-prepared things because I can't really understand. I mean, I understand what chorizo means, but otherwise, who knows what else is in it. Pork au caramel. I wonder what that could be. Poulet rôti crudité. Okay, maybe it's not that difficult to work out what's in here. It's all kind of obvious. Oh, innocent smoothies. Okay, this might be helpful for what I'm looking for. Now, I can't find any antibacterial wipes, but baby wipes will often do just as well. I'm surprised that they don't have any antibacterial wipes, but maybe I'm just not in the right section. Is there a personal hygiene section? There must be, you know, toothpaste and that kind of stuff. Oh, here's a section I definitely do want to be in. Drinks. Now, luckily, my very basic French tells me that this is Coke Zero, because it says Coca-Cola sans sucre. Maybe I'll pick up more than one of these. I do have a generic Cola Zero. That is quite cheap. Will they let you bring drinks into Disneyland Paris? If so, it's worth getting a kind of 6-pack, 4-pack, whatever this is. I'm going to grab a 6-pack. What I also can't see is chewing gum. Do they have it? Or do they just smoke here? It's their equivalent. Start smoking when you're 3 years old. Very annoying. I can't find cat food. No. Hand sanitizer. Hand wash. But no hand sanitizer. Oh, here we go. This is the section I needed. Intimate wipes. Those aren't really what I'm looking for. Hand sanitizer. Excellent. Oh wow, that's expensive. That is crazy. That is what, equivalent of £1.50, £2? Maybe this is a brand name here, and that's why. But that seems excessively expensive. I'm not going to buy that expensive one, but this one, antibacterial Vaseline hand cream, maybe that will do. Starting to think maybe I should have gone to Aldi. It's all so expensive here. And of course inflation has gone crazy recently, so I mean, maybe my brain's just thinking £1 equals €1, which isn't true. The pound is stronger. I mean, not entirely disappointed. I've got the drinks that I wanted and some antibacterial hand cream, so that's good. Maybe baby wipes are the way to go. Ooh, warning, plastic in product. I mean, they wipe babies' arses with these things. There must be, you know, some kind of antibacterial something in here, right? Look, what an exciting basket I've got. Coke Zeros galore, baby wipes, and a little bit of moisturising hand sanitizer. What an exciting life I lead. Alright, let's go. The really difficult, potentially embarrassing part is trying to pay. I see lots of foreigners work queuing and paying, so maybe it should be easy. I'm just one of these Paris baseball caps, but they're all kind of Olympic themed and that has a shelf life. Little mascot here, it's just so nondescript. Right, they're about to close. Right, so that's my shopping trip to Carrefour City, or the equivalent of Tesco Express. It's all right. It's a corner shop, isn't it? You get what you can, and what I could get was some baby wipes, lots of Coke Zero, and some moisturising hand sanitizer. Thankfully, the guy behind the counter, he did speak English very well. I tried with my broken French. He realised this guy doesn't speak French at all, almost. So he was quite helpful, and I couldn't understand the money either. So he was very helpful in just taking the money out of my hand and working out what needed to be done. He may have robbed me, I doubt it, because who's going to rob me of the little money that I have? But anyway, heading back to the hotel, I do have some food and snacks there already, which I brought with me. Hot noodles and that kind of thing. I like to pack a couple just for the first night, so that when I arrive, I don't actually have to go shopping if I'm feeling hungry. I'm definitely not paying the hotel prices for meals, because they're absolutely extortionate usually. Yeah, time to go back to the hotel, relax, and do some research plan for tomorrow, because I need to go and buy my tickets at the door. That'll be interesting. Yeah, this area is really quite nice. Crossing the road again, make sure to look the correct direction, which is there. Nothing coming, good. By the time I leave, I'll have probably got it right here, and then get knocked over in London. Yeah, it's not too different from the nicer parts of London here. Okay, now that I'm getting the lay of the land, I can work out the shortcuts. I've been going kind of long ways round according to what Google Maps is telling me. Hello, apart hotel, €250 a night. That's quite steep. But I mean, that's the price advertised on the door. You can usually get it cheaper online, but also right now they've got the Olympics going on. Although I've heard it's been a bit of a dud. Not a lot of people coming to the Olympics. Now look, here's IBIS, and then next to it is the IBIS budget, part of the same chain, the Accor chain of French hotels. But IBIS budget is apparently absolutely horrendous. The reviews are damning for this place, and that's why, even though it was a little bit cheaper, I decided to stay in the proper IBIS. Right, let's go inside, head back upstairs. Bonsoir. An IBIS is an IBIS, isn't it? They all look the same. 133. My door wasn't locked. I hope I wasn't robbed. Oh wow, I forgot to lock the door. But my wallet, passport, and money are still here. Okay, it's not worth robbing the £12.50 that I brought with me, but I'm assuming my passport's worth a lot more. Does this door close? It does. So why was it open? That's worrying. Okay, let's do that. Right, one thing worth knowing about staying in the IBIS is that you can borrow an iron to iron your clothes. They will take a €20 deposit, which they'll give you back once you return it, but yeah, no ironing board, and honestly, this is cheap, crappy iron. I could probably buy one for €10, but it will do. It saves me carrying it, and they will give me the money back once I return this. Useful to know in case you, like me, have packed your clothes so they end up all wrinkly. Now I need to do some research and then get some more sleep, whether I'm refreshed for early morning, and I believe it opens at 10 AM, so I need to probably leave here around about 9, go get my tickets, queue to get it. See you tomorrow morning.